All right, top of the morning to you, my fellow gamers. Today's episode, we're going to continue work on the bee game. I think we're going to add a couple flowers that the bee can collect. So remember, you're going to click Projects on your code.org dashboard and then go back to whatever your game is, whatever you called it. And yeah, let's get started. So if you remember, I'll just recap a little bit. Last episode, we made it so that we can make our bee move left and right. So pretty sweet. We got a moving character on the screen responding to input. So really, it's really important to check out this line of code right here. This b.x equals b.x minus 5, or b.x equals b.x plus 5. So this is a really common pattern in computer science, and it's so common that we gave it a name. This is called the counter pattern. And if I get some video editors, I'll make the video say counter pattern, nice and big for you. So if anyone wants to do some video editing for me, know how to throw some images on a video, hit up that comment section. But the counter pattern is so common in computer science. When we do loops, you're going to iterate your index variable with the counter pattern. And in this case, this is how the bee constantly moves from one place to the next. So if I were to just say b.x equals 5 when I press the left arrow key, when I press left, it's going to move the bee straight to the x coordinate of 5, all the way here on the left. So we don't want to just set it equal to 5. We want to say find its old value. So on the right-hand side, when we write b.x, it says, what is the current value of b.x? And then we're going to subtract 5 from the current value. So the left-hand side, so the way this program works is, the way computer science works is the right-hand side of the equation is evaluated, and then whatever variables on the left-hand side gets assigned to that value that was evaluated on the right. So b.x, remember it started at 200. So the first value, when I press left arrow key, so b.x is 200 minus 5. I hit left once, and the bee moved to 195. I hit left again, and the bee moved to 190. So every time I hit the arrow key, it's moving 5 right now. If I wanted to increase the speed of a bee, I could make it 10. So now my bee's flying left and right. So just really, the counter pattern is really important, so pay attention to line 8 and line 12. Think about how this works and how it makes a bee move. Okay, next steps, I'm going to add a couple more sprites, some flowers, into the game, and I'm thinking flowers are going to start at the top of the screen and kind of fall down, and then the bee has to collect the flowers falling down from the top. And that'll be how you collect some pollen, and then maybe every 100 pollen, a honey pops up. That's kind of what I'm thinking for this game right now. So how do we make a new sprite? Remember, first thing we're going to do, make the image. So we're going to do a new animation. Let's see, is there a flower that already exists? No flowers. Guess I'm going to have to try and draw. I'm a struggling artist, and by that I mean I struggle to make things, but I'm going to try. So there's a couple cool tools I can show you in the drawing. So let's call this a flower. And I'm gonna make it. Let's see. Let's do a purple flower. Probably have multiple different sprites with different colors, maybe different point values. So let's start with the vertical mirror pen, and you can see the keyboard shortcut is V here, and this is gonna let you draw a mirrored image. So the left-hand side is gonna be identical to the right-hand side if you drop it down. So let's see, what is my canvas? First, let's resize the drawing area. So I have a 100 pixel by 100 pixel drawing area. That's probably a little big for a flower, so I'm going to resize to 50-50, and you can see that messed up that. So I'm just going to erase this line and start over. Perfect. Okay, so let's see, what is a flower? We're going to have like a yellow thing in the middle, and then I'll use the paint bucket tool, dump it there, and then I have some like purple petals that kind of go like that. See, I did okay. I'm proud of this flower. I'm going to use. And then you want to crop the sprite so all the extra pixels are gone. This is, if you've heard of the word hitbox before, this is going to change the hitbox of the flower. So this big square is going to be what the bee can interact with. So this is the bee's hitbox. You can see there's a couple extra pixels out here. I'm going to crop the bees also just to make it so when you're actually touching the flowers when it's touching it. And yeah, so there we go. Maybe we can do a little touch-ups with this right here. Yeah, you can get pixel perfect, or you can just go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. That looks good enough for me. So, all right. So now we've made the flower, and we're gonna add a new flower, a new sprite. So how do we do that? Remember, we do var sprite equals create sprite, and I'm gonna name this variable. I'm not gonna name it sprite. I'm gonna name it flower. And then what do I do next? I set the flower's animation to be flower purple. Oh, remember, we could have added multiple frames if you want to make the flower look like it's moving. Maybe I'll make the flower spin. Let's add a new frame. Actually, I'm going to just duplicate this frame, and then I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to rotate it like that, I guess. I'm going to get some pixels cropped off here, but let's try this out. We'll just do a spinning flower. And I'll just spin it here so it looks there. You know, we could spend a lot of time making this perfect. We'll just go like that. So this is our flower spinning, and now it's annoying. I'm gonna have to resize it. It's too much to do for now, so we're just gonna have to live with it, and I'll fix it in post-production. So where do we want our flower to appear? So I was saying we're gonna make the flower appear at the top of the screen. I'll put it at 50, 0, so x coordinate 50, y coordinate 0, and let's run it, see what happens. Boom. So now we have our bee, and we have a flower at the top. So now we want the flower to start falling, and then we want our bee to be able to collect the flower. So how are we going to do that? So, so the same way that we said b.x equals b.x minus 10, that's how we're going to make the flower move. We're going to use that same counter pattern. So what are we going to do? We're going to say flower.y. So every iteration of the draw loop, we want to say flower.y equals flower.y plus or minus. Let's see. So if I started at 160, moving down, y is getting more positive, so I'm going to add 10. So the y coordinate is a little backwards for math. Typically in your math classes, going up is getting more positive in y, but in GameLab, 0, 0 is on the top left, and going down is more positive in y. So the y-axis is flipped from your normal math. Okay, so the flower's falling. That's a little fast. Let's put it at 5. But now we want to make it so when the flower hits the bottom, it repeats back to the top. So how are we going to do that? We're going to use another if statement. So remember, if statements are always our logic. So if something is true, then something happens. So we want to say, what's the true statement that we can say if the flower makes it to the bottom of the screen? So what is a true or false statement we can create for that? So if you see, you can't see because my face is there. Let's see, can I move my face? Oh, magic. This is crazy. All right, I figured out I can move my face during a video. So now, you can see right here, watch this for the coordinates. So how will I know if the flower is off the bottom of the screen? So I'm going to watch the y coordinate, 300, still moving, 350, 400 is the bottom, and then it's off. So I can use an inequality that says if flower.y is greater than 400, so if it's made it past the bottom of the screen, then what do I want to do? I want to reset it back to the top. So I'll write flower.y equals 0. So let's reset it and go. And boom, now our flower is looping. Look at that. It'd be pretty cool so it doesn't always fall in the same spot. Let's do something fancy like set the x coordinate when it reaches the bottom, we're going to set the flower's x-coordinate to be a random number between 0 and 400. And now, here, let's set the speed to, I don't know, 20 so we can see what happens really fast. So now the flower is falling randomly on the screen. I'm going to move the B down a little bit too, so y coordinate up to 300. There we go. I like it. It's looking good. All right, so the next step is going to be to make it so that the bee can touch the flower and start collecting points, but I think I will leave that for the next video. If you have any other ideas for this game, make sure to hit them up in the comments section. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends at Coding Academy. Let's make some cool channel resources here, and maybe you can make your own games and get it highlighted on my channel. You can share your game with me that you're making, and I'll give you a shout out on the channel. That sounds like it'd be cool. But until next time, have a great day, Python.